Good morning, everybody. Good to see you all again. I hope everybody's enjoying their weekend and life. I hope everybody's doing well. I was thinking back. I haven't been doing many videos lately, and yeah, I was pissed off because YouTube shut me down. So I just can't get by it. But I was looking back, and I'm watching these channels, and you hear about New York, Brooklyn, Rochester, New York. You don't hear nothing about Rochester, New York. Excuse me. Rochester, New York was equal to or worse. The boss, Frank Valente, and Charlie Amico. I can't even remember the names. But I knew this. I knew the descendant of the Amico, and they were just murderous and not to be rivaled by any organized crime outfit. And integral player was Eugene Big Gene DeFransesco, who I met at the racetrack when I was young. And Big Gene, who I know his nephew, who's older, that goes to the racetrack to this day, but I don't go anymore. Who's a real good guy, Rick. And I met Big Gene. He would stand. Now the dates. Let me just read first of all his narrative. Big Gene was a hitman for the Rochester Mafia. He was the trigger man in the Jimmy the Hammer Massaro murder in 1973. He was a member of Frank Valente's special crew and was involved in extortion and loan sharking and providing the muscle for those operations. Gene killed for the first time at the young age of 18. He punched an 81-year-old man in the throat. The man fell in the driveway and hit his head on the pavement. He was indicted for manslaughter, but the charge was dismissed because of lack of evidence. DeFransesco also participated in the arson for hire schemes and the Columbus Day bombings. He was indicted on July 24th, 1975 for the Columbus Day bombings, and he was indicted on April 7th, 1976 for the arsons. He was sentenced to a total of 10 years imprisonment for both counts for the arson and for hire, and total of 9 years. In 1976, he was being held for the killing of Billy Constable and Jimmy the Hammer. DeFransesco had his bail revoked because he threatened to eliminate the chief of detectives at the time. Now, these dates, he was released from prison on December 23rd, 1983. A lot of times you look back at these dates, and I'm not psychic, and but when you look at the historical record of a lot of these gangsters, just like Columbos and Francis, Sammy the Bull, whoever they are, these crime personalities that are in the public eye today, maybe, a lot of them just don't add up. They just don't jive. Because it doesn't say, it says his release date, but I believe they say he was released from prison in 1983. No, I don't know, but I saw him at the racetrack. And he would stand near the popcorn stand inside the racetrack, in close proximity to where my mom would stand and watch the races and then go outside when the race started. And he was very generous with me. He didn't know how to read the racing form, and I was another guy had said, hey, what am I doing hanging out with him? But he was nice to me and everything. And he didn't know how to read a racing form, but he was betting, and we were making money, and he was generous to me. And he was respectful to my mom, and he would just say, make sure you give your mom some of that money. And I don't care who he killed. I don't care what crimes he committed. Big Gene DeFransesco was a good man in my book. And I remember there was a local bookmaker, and he was running around trying to act tough, close proximity to Batavia and Rochester. And he was trying to strong arm people and everything. And we'll call him Philly L. And I really, honestly, don't think he could fight his way out of a paper bag, but he always walked around the track trying to intimidate people, acting big. And I was with Big Gene one night, and this Philly D come over, and he said, oh, what are your niece and nephew? They were little kids running around. And boy, did Big Gene straighten them out. I think he already knew who he was, but Big Gene would extort other racketeers also, or strong arm them and say, "Oh, if you're gonna take action here, you owe me, or I'm just gonna take over your gambling ring and make the proceeds out of that." But his nephew Rick, good man, funny guy, in his probably 70s, late 70s. Today, a good man. And I look back at a lot of these dates, and there's a common denominator a lot of times where the dates don't add up. Now, I would never claim him to be an informant and getting out early or whatnot, but the historical record that they feed the public doesn't jive a lot of times. Now, the Rochester mob, they were having mob wars in Rochester, and some of the people were going back and forth from New York, and it was a bloodbath. The Rochester mob didn't play second fiddle as far as any crime family, New York, Cleveland, anywhere. They didn't take a back seat. I believe they were more vicious, ruthless people. But a murder's a murder. How vicious can it be, excuse me. And I see, I'm just scrolling through here. There were people, they ended up in my little town when they were older. And, I just thought but I didn't realize, for one right here, Salvador Sam Campanella. They were all in the union, Teamsters and all that. And he was a rat. And they used to call him Sam Trash because I think they had control of the trash or anything like that. But as a senior citizen, he was the bartender at a at a Italian club, and he used to have an attitude. I would never imagine that you know. But I remember Sam Trash, and he was a tough old man, and he was part of that crazy. They were running gambling establishments, and he was a made member of. They called it the A team, and then there was a B team in Rochester, like teams. Uh, but when those mobsters went to prison, good morning, folks. When some mobsters went to prison, they were supposed to take care of the families. Well, I could understand that Sam Trash Campanella didn't take care of them, and then he switched loyalty to another family and everything else. But then he was allowed to visit Frank Valente. Some, they allowed who and what could. Good morning, Deb, T Bird, Leon, JC. But some of these detectives and everything, a lot of men got acquitted because everybody was corrupt. The detectives were just making up evidence and everything else because probably they weren't getting paid off big enough. So we got Sam Trash, who I knew. Yeah. But then they disappeared and everything. He come back as an old man. There's Johnny Cavagrati. Let's see who else they got here. The Rochester mob was vicious. And Big Gene DeFransesco went to the hardware store and bought the gas, and he was an arsonist also. I think he was involved with 6 or 9 arsons that netted close to $500,000, and then there was a controversial one about a laundromat where there's apartments on top of the laundromat, and some innocent people might have got killed. But he went. I guess legend has it that he whoever started the fire had it all in place, and then there was a diner not far from there, and he just sat and looked down the block and saw all the fire trucks and everything else. But they thought the building might have been vacant on top or something, and I think at least one person got killed in that explosion. Rosario Chirico. Let's see who else is on here. Tony Colombo, not from the Brooklyn Colombos. Yeah, these guys were all racketeers, and then a lot of them, it shows that they turned informants. I mean, there was a guy, I know his grandchildren, Joe Zito. I know his nephew or his grandson. I went to camp with them, and they were good kids. But his grandfather or uncle was one of the biggest. He ratted on everybody he knew in the mafia. And I'm not trying to slur that family. That's a million years ago. And the boys were good boys. I went to camp, and we were together here or there. But they were good kids. His brother used to loan shark money out at some gambling establishments, the old man's, and boy, he would charge. He'd lend 100, you had to pay back 200. Charging nuts. And I knew a couple guys that were lending money, or that he was lending money to, some pushover guys that were paying that big juice and everything. And I was like, I'll only charge you $50 on 100, just for a couple dollars here or there. And then he got pissed off at me, and I wasn't intimidated or nothing. He was an old man, but he still had cayunes. These gangsters get old, but they're still crazy. Who else? I don't know. See if I recognize it. There's, yeah, Big Gene. And Big Gene DeFransesco. His wife wrote a best-selling book. Big Gene DeFransesco. Best national best-selling book. And I guess it was a real good read. Let's see who else was in here. When you compare, I knew some killers from the New York families, and I knew my godfather, of course, who did a lot of work. And I thought, I mean, Big Gene and my godfather, Mickey, two guys with the same DNA, and I loved them both. I loved them both. It's like you're with them, and you know what their past is, but it's just like, we're together, we're gambling, we're having fun. Is it any difference than these corrupt government people, the government that everybody looks up to with respect? Maybe not anymore today, but there's no difference. The government's racketeering, it's all corruption. But I think the mob, if these guys saw somebody was down and out and needed help and throw a sandwich down their throat, they would give it to them. Oh, just because they were gangsters, they didn't have any morals or common respect or dignity. Bullshit. Corporate crime, government scandals. Please look at the governors and everything around our country. Look at them. Frank Fussato. Let's see who else is on the list. Gingillo, those were they just bombed it. They bombed everything. They were going to bomb the federal building. They had a conspiracy to bomb the federal building. Them guys, they were into bombings and arson, but New York mob wasn't really into that. But let's see who else. Now, Joseph, no, I can't go there. I can't go there. Just can't. There's still crazies running around, maybe. Still crazies out there. I don't trust none of them. Let's see. Billy Lupo. That Red Rosati, that Sam Red Rosati, he used to come to the racetrack. And a friend of mine that just passed away, God rest his soul, he was more intimate with them. Who else on this crazy list? Tommy Murata, Vinny Macero. Gene DeFransesco was actually summoned to hit him. they're switching sides and everything else. The Rochester mob just turned into a bloodbath. People changing allegiances, loyalty, bloodbaths. That was a serious mob war they had. Murder. They say that Big Gene shot him in the head at a garage. Just legend has it, rumor has it. Nick Mastrodonato, I know the descendants of them, but just from afar, those descendants are good guys. Monachino's, Oliveri. So I haven't been doing a lot of videos because I'm pissed off that they shut my, they shut me down. And I sent them some disparaging messages, and they probably won't be putting adding any subscribers onto my channel anytime soon. But for that matter, I think my channel more or less ran its course, and spring is coming. I'm going to do some traveling, and I might only upload some videos from my phone for wherever in the country that I might be, and say hello and just stay in touch to T-Bird, Mr. Swan, and JC, and Debadoo and a Debadon. So everything's good here. I'm gonna probably do some gambling and relax. I just for entertainment. I'm not chasing any money or like I'm into, just to get out, get out and about. So yeah, the Rochester mob was really violent, and I'll end with this story. I was in a bar, and a classy bar, and there were people in there, and I had some friends, and there was a family in a booth, well-dressed, good-looking family, and there was a girl there that I had my eye on. She had her eye on me. So make a long story short, a friend of mine that knew them said, "Nah, Jojo, don't even entertain that." And I guess she was related to Frank Valente or somebody in that Red Rosati's, one of those bosses or under bosses or captains or whatever. And yeah, and we kind of we did talk and everything, but even the bartender said, "No, Jojo, don't say a word to her." And then the old man there, dressed looked like a movie star. He was looking, and I had a wandering eye, and I was like, "Holy cow!" But a lot of stuff happened after that, and I guess her boyfriend or something. It was a big mess. But you don't need to be dating no gangsters' daughters. You don't need to be. No. And a lot of times, if you cheated, like people were cheating with these gangsters' wives. How there's not enough women out there to date, and you're gonna go behind the back of a gangster killer and date his wife in secrecy. No. So that's that. I'm gonna end it there. I'm only gonna maybe do videos once a week because it is what it is. You guys know the story about the channel, and They froze my channel up. I can't get any more subscribers on the list. And that's that. It was an experiment, and it's a testimony to social media censorship. And I believe it's because I did some political videos, and I'm only a small fry, but that's how they run it, you know, CrookTube. That's why I don't care anymore. Like, oh, geez, they might be watching. Fuck you, YouTube. That's how I feel about you, YouTube. You moderators and you censors. Like, I better watch what I... Fuck you, you moderators. Fuck you, you censors. And your corrupt political censorship. That's all I got to say is fuck you, YouTube. And rotten hell, whoever moderators that are watching me now, fuck you, rotten hell. You cursed yourself already. That's all. You cursed yourself. Karma will get you. Karma will get you. So we're going to end it on that great note. Fuck you, YouTube, and your fucking demonic censors. Sit in your little cubby hole desks over there and censor people and everything else. You're Marxist, socialist demons. And all I got to say is fuck you and rotten hell. That's all. That's all. Do whatever you want to do with my channel. That's all. Because they might not ever turn my subscriber ticker on again. They might not ever turn it on again. So I might as well get my jabs in while I can. So fuck you, you YouTube demonic moderators and censors. This is the United States of America. All right. Last time I looked. You want to turn it into a communist, socialist, Marxist, censored nation. No, let me get my fuck yous in right now. Okay. All right, folks. God bless everybody else, the real people and the real good people in society. And, so I don't have a filter. I'm not going to bow down. Oh, Jojo, you better watch what you say about them. When this channel's off, it's off. I go out. I don't change the fabric of me by like, oh, geez, well, even if I was monetized, that ain't a big windfall for financial money. So I just break it down how it is. Fuck YouTube and those moderators. And that's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. I'm not going to tiptoe around it. It's fuck you, a cup of JoJo. No, fuck you, YouTube. It's fuck you, a cup of JoJo. They don't like the truth coming from an intelligent, articulate person. And they don't even like the Jesus calling because they're devils. The Jesus calling, it's like throwing water on a witch, the Wizard of Oz. They're demons. Just like I did the video, to love and be loved. It got took down, to love and be loved. It didn't follow the community guidelines. A video titled To Love and Be Loved didn't follow community guidelines. If I would have put in Satan and the power of Lucifer, they'd have left it up. That's what you're dealing with social media in America and censorship. They censored Donald Trump, so who the fuck is a cup of JoJo? They censored Donald Trump and everybody else. So fuck you, YouTube. And curses on you evil demons that try to snuff out even spiritual devotions. It's fuck a cup of JoJo and Jesus. Forgive me, Jesus, for I should love my enemies. It's tough to do. It's tough to love your enemies. I'm trying, but I ain't there yet. So fuck you, YouTube. All right. I'm trying, but until I get there, you moderators rot in hell. You censors rot in hell. You take everybody off of YouTube that has a good agenda, a good platform. So that's that. I wanted to get my 2 cents in there. And yeah, the Rochester mob family was just as worse as the New York crime family. I knew players in both families, and I knew their descendants also. And Frank Valenti and them guys over there, and a lot of other names that haven't been brought up. But yeah, the Rochester was treacherous, and the Falls was. Them guys were murder is murder. These guys, but some of them, it was just. I mean, these guys they set fires and bombed. Our uncle Russ Latempio was in a bombing, and he had one leg. Debbie, if you remember that. Yeah. He got bombed. Our great uncle, he was a great uncle, but he got bombed. So, yeah, and when we were little, he had one leg. He's always giving me dollars and change, and that was a big score to me. So, all right, folks, it's Saturday. Go do what you do, and enjoy the day. The sun is shining, and stay strong. If people are struggling, stay strong. Don't give up. You get there. You get there. Today's a brand new day. That's all. And I don't know. I might just do another video next week. But they shut me down, and those evil motherfuckers, they shut me down. And at this point in time, I don't care anymore. I got to get my punches in while I can. So that's that. So I'm going to end it there. Thanks for joining me, my good people. T-Bird, Leon Swan, Mario. Super Mario's in the house. Well, after I did that Brittany Griner video and Joe Biden and everything else, who they're part of they're all on the same team. And, then they started shutting my channel down because they didn't like who I was talking about. Those demons, they caused trouble. Yeah. She wanted to kneel for the national anthem. Yeah, okay, go ahead. They reward evil. That's what they do. They reward evil. And they shut me down. They shut me down. All right. Thanks a lot. That's about it. I'm looking forward to doing some traveling in the near future, and put this YouTube on the back burner, and maybe chime in here or there if I still have a channel, and if I don't, fuck them, and they should rot in hell. All right, folks. On that lovely note, I'll sign off. Be the kings and queens of your world. Don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. It's not partly cloudy. It's partly sunny. So don't be a fool and take any wooden nickels. All right? Take care.